Hi, welcome to another edition of What the Fuck Happens to YouTube Atheist Community and Stick 'em Fun. Oh, it's not Stick 'em, it's debate and chat room fun or whatever. Anyway, yeah, I made this video as a direct upload, and like Das Spook, had one of his videos ruined by YouTube. Yeah, no audio, so apparently they're fucking with their software and they're fucking up videos now and then. So that was really disappointing. You put in the 20 minutes and for nothing, absolutely nothing, all ruined. So that was just fuck. So yeah, I really don't want to do this video again. Anyway, so last night's debate room was quite adequate. It functional, rolled along, had its moments. Conversation was a little bit varied, and it was okay. It's got to be more organized. Get some guests, get some more compelling content, I suppose, but for just something slopped together, it moved along okay. Das Spook was there in the end, so we kind of were blending our two things again. He did some video of Tiny Chat from his perspective, obviously. So it's all sort of interesting. Lots of it's interesting what's going on at the moment. With Das Spook, and he mentioned somebody in my comment section. I went to the comment, and this I'm not going to say the name right. Zyvira, sorry. Let's see. Zavra. Yeah, I think it's probably it. Zavra. Yeah, something like that. Okay. Anyway, very interesting woman. Quite. It's just this elegance in the face of, kind of thing or something. Very. She looks like she should be in like a Van Gogh painting. She's a painter, and but she's kind of hard times and such, and it all seems very tragic and sad and pitiful and horrible. But it's just the nature of life. But I mean, she has some 500 videos, and the average view count is like 7. It's insane. I mean, she's a very interesting character. Yeah, and I've only watched a couple of her videos. I mean, some of the content's a little wacky for my taste, but very, very interesting person. I mean, there's somebody there. I mean, there's somebody home, and somebody should be watching these videos. Yeah, somebody really should. So yes, I've subscribed, and she did do a video responding to my content, but it wasn't very directed, and she doesn't seem very happy with me, but that's okay. She does these very detailed paintings, very interesting, very lovely and such, charming. She had the endearing, her mother called her little iodine. It's just, I mean, just, it's very interesting. And anyway, life is just too rude. Life is rude. Horribly, horribly rude to beauty. Anyway. So what else is news? I did the anti-bullshit man thing, and it went okay, so we're going to keep trying to do that every 2 weeks, once a week, depends on his mood, I suppose. We seem to be able to converse on subjects quite reasonably without being too insulting and not getting into a fight and all that kind of crap, so it works out pretty well. People I can't seem to communicate, like not Ludite, I can't communicate with him either, but Hoffliday. Just impossible. I mean, you just spell it out. 1, 2, 3. Add up these numbers, and then he just goes off on the tangent and starts adding 7, 9, and 12. And you're like, that's not what I asked you to do, retard. I mean, just can't stay on the subject. It's not that complicated either. It's really just not that fucking complicated. What is being asked of him, and he refuses to play along. And then he gets offended that you say, fuck you, you're not playing the game the way it's got to be played. I ask you a question, you have to answer it, shithead. You can't just, fuck around to pretend you answered it when you didn't. Anyway, so it's kind of useless. And then the Modern Mystic, I did have a conversation with him about the economy and quantitative easing, and he got all pissed off, and that was into that. So he's always kind of difficult, especially when he's in his, I'm the master wizard, and I have all the magic powers, and you're not going to teach me anything, I'm going to teach you. When he's in that mode, it's just impossible. So I should have known better as soon as he was going to teach me something. I should have known there was no point in going there. But anyway, I'm still playing the game, and there are some commenters that are worth responding to, so I will make another video on the economics channel regarding QE to Mariana maybe, and some of the other commenters. It's an interesting subject of what exactly they're up to, and what you can dissect from the little bits you get. Because they won't just spell it out. I mean, they're all liars and cheaters, the Fed and all these bankers and all these politicians, and so they don't want to say directly what's happening, so they veil everything in some sort of, it's like the little tiny, oh, by the way, there was an earthquake in Japan, but did you hear about that Coca-Cola is going to change the color of their can? Yeah, there was an earthquake over there in Japan. But, Coca-Cola's, it's that kind of thing. The important stuff they put in little fine text over here and just talk about like it doesn't mean anything. Like, oh yeah, we bought $2 trillion worth of these things, and then they get to something else, pretend it's important. It's that kind of, the magician tricks, like hide the fact that there's a bunch of birds shoved up my sleeve, keep you thinking about something else than the birds, shoved in my clothes. But anyway, enough of that. So that was kind of futile. But it all seems useful. Any conversations that you can have almost seems useful because there's, it does engage you, it does provoke some thought and all that kind of crap. So there's some value to it, I suppose. The Das Book thing has been interesting. I mean, it's going to get, it's going to be a long, as this whole thing plays out, he's got a lot more shit to say. I guess he's going to have to say an awful lot of shit to fill all these videos, these hours and hours of videos. So you're going to get to know him pretty well by the end, I would imagine. But I like the idea of it. I mean, I like doing more expansive videos. It is a self. It does do you some good, just in terms of your own thinking, because you're obliged to talk through something, and sometimes you see connections that you weren't seeing before because you never really said it out loud, or you never went through the whole process of it. So I think there is some value to it in terms of, what you say out loud, what you have to conform and form into complete sentences is a lot different than when you have an idea in your head and you just know it as an idea or a connection, but you never really articulated it, so you never really tested it. And you kind of test you kind of have to test what you're thinking when you actually say it, and then you have to take responsibility for it, and you say, is that really what I think? Is that really what I wanted to say? And so that does put it to the test, and so it does validate some of your thinking, and it does give you places where you're saying, well, maybe that needs some better words, that needs to be said a better way. So I'm just defending the doing of it. And, just because, everybody thinks I should be, ruling the world by now and figuring out how to, do something spectacular, apply magic powers to fixing everything, and I just don't have the wherewithal to do that, and so I'm just sort of, I'm hiding a little bit in the comfort of the routine that I'm in. And even though I really don't like it that much, I don't like the routine of it. Sometimes I feel like Tiny Chat, showing up every Saturday night feels like an obligation sometimes. I don't like that feeling. It feels like work. Yeah, it really does. So if I'm going to work, I probably should be doing work that's more constructive. If I'm not going to be purely enjoying myself, then it does seem kind of silly that it's not more productive. So I should force it to be more productive to justify it. I mean, I really should organize things so I have guests and subjects in certain hours and all that kind of stuff. I really have to do more work on it to make it more of a program that people might be interested in. More people might be interested in a wider audience. I have to widen my appeal, which I don't really want to do, right? I mean, because that means I have to do things like comb my hair and not say cunt, and you know, and I just don't want to be. I don't want to do the work of you know, that kind of discipline. Discipline is what work is, right? Discipline is this obligation thing. I don't like obligations to be somebody else, to confine myself, to refine myself. I mean, it's all, you know. Well, anyway, but yeah, I'm not discouraged by the way things are. You know, they're not. It's not all negative in terms of how things have been going. But yeah, I got to do better than this. That's for sure. And so I'll work on that. You know, I keep saying I'll work on it, and I don't work on it, but I do want to work on it. It's just, again, I've said it before, but I really am cutting myself too thin, and I'm not focusing on one thing and doing that well. I'm just doing the bare minimums on everything I'm doing. I'm doing it to the minimum standard, and you know, that's really not very wise. But you know, I'm leaving all my options open, kind of thing, or something. Maybe, I don't know. Yeah, I'm just still not committing. I can't commit. So I just kind of waiting to see what path, you know, gets paved, and then I'll drive that road. It's like, I want a paved road. I want a safe road. I want a comfortable ride. I don't want a bumpy ride. I don't want to get stuck in the mud. I don't want, you know. Yeah, that's a good metaphor. I'm just waiting for it to be easy. And it's probably not going to be easy, and I just want it to be. And that's probably unrealistic. So anyway, this is just sort of babbling, whatever, whiny, bitchy, moany stuff, so fuck it. So anyway, more of the same this week anyway. Maybe soon I will do something bold and aggressive and certain and, well, or not. Probably or not, but we'll see. Anyway, till next time, and thank you, for the people who show up in the debate room. I do appreciate it. And link below to relevant content and such.